March Madness. The last 4 days in the books. We move on. One NHL game tonight, a whole slate of NBA. I'm Lawrence Presman. You're watching the best betting show ever. Hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel. Joe Ranieri and Bryan Power with us. And let's start right off the bat with you, Bry. How was your college madness? How was the last 4 days?
We eked out a winning record. Feels like it was, take a big body blow, land one back on the books. 6-5 overall. I was very happy, at least. You guys know that I take it as a sense of personal pride to be on the big upset. Always. I did have Iowa yesterday against Florida. That was a nice way to close the weekend. Lost my 5%, which sucked, obviously, on Friday. Take a winning week considering how the month had started. So, and looking forward to this Sweet 16, which, I know everyone complains about no upsets, but this is going to be a great Sweet 16, Prez and Joe, that we've got coming up in the big games.
Joe Ranieri, how did you make out this weekend?
Well, Prez, the tournament has gone great. 12-6, up 12 units here since Thursday in March Madness. Doing great in the NIT as well. But, of course, we lost our 5% last night. Because I don't even know what the hell Texas Tech was doing there. That was outstanding. But when you let a team grab every friggin' rebound known to mankind and they shoot 90% from three, I guess you're going to have a long day. But it's been a very profitable NIT and March Madness here. So I will take that in the long run because ultimately that's what it's all about.
I, too, had a winning start, barely. My 5% was what carried me over the top. Bry, you don't define Iowa over Florida as an upset because I know you said there were no upsets, so that's not an upset for you.
No, I said that was. I generally speaking, there were no upsets, right. But no, I had Iowa yesterday. Yeah, that was. But before that, obviously, if you went on social media, all everyone was saying was, "Oh, there's no upsets. Oh, what happened to the upsets?" That's all everyone was doing for 3 days. We finally did get one, though, obviously, like you said, late Sunday, and I was glad I was on it.
Yeah, big one. Nice call. Guys, let's get into making some money.
Well, let's not. Again, the favorites, 39-9 straight up, and 27-19 against the number. It's been as chalky a tournament, just like it was last year. The idea, and I don't think there's a mid-major left, is there? So much for the Cinderella alive and well, because... Yeah, no, it's just the big boys left ready to roll now.
Yeah, all Power 5 conference teams in the Sweet 16, Joe. Not a single team outside the Power 5 conferences. I discussed it, actually, in the morning wager. Can I throw you guys some talking points, actually?
Please,
regarding
Let's go.
So, obviously, I think, look, NIL and the transfer portal obviously have contributed to the lack of upsets, but I think it's kind of a lazy answer just to say that's all it is. The bottom line is, and we had talked about this on the show. I know I talked about it on Morning Wager with Zeno, and I think I brought it up here as well on the last. There were a lot of upsets at the mid-major level in the conference tournaments, so we were not necessarily getting the best of the best from the mid-majors. As a matter of fact, there were only two teams, guys, two mid-majors, I should say, that could say they were regular season champions of their league and were in the NCAA tournament last year. Those were High Point and Troy. High Point was the only mid-major, the only to win, as a matter of fact, in the first round. And then something I retweeted yesterday is the committee's just better with seeding now. The metrics that are at their disposal, Joe, remember we used to have 12 seeds favored over 5s and 11 seeds over 6s, and we would just rub our hands together and say, oh, yeah, the public's going to fall for this, and they're going to take the higher seed team. I don't think we're going to see that very much anymore. They see these teams correctly.
We're just never going, every maybe now in a blue moon, you'll get a Sweet 16 from a mid-major. But the likelihood, I think, of that happening now with how top-heavy conferences are. And when, money, listen, just ask Kentucky. Money is not buying you a championship. That's $22 million. Pissed right down the drain there, and you get bounced out by a team that didn't even have their best player available yesterday. But for the most part, the teams that remain, if you looked in the books, I would bet, Prez, that those are probably the 16 top NIL funded teams in the country here, and that reality is not going anywhere anytime soon. Oh, it's mime time. We're miming. Oh,
I don't. Yeah,
oh, there we go. Go ahead.
I don't have an issue with it. So it is what it is. I don't think
pony up or shut up then.
Yeah, I don't think the goal should be to create parity between 500 teams. I think the goal should be to get these athletes
solid
paid.
Point. Yep, solid point.
I'm totally good with that. Any early? Go ahead, Brian. What did you want to say?
I was going to say it's interesting. We did get for an 18th consecutive year a double-digit seed in the Sweet 16.
Oh, stop!
But
Texas.
Hold on, Joe. I'm getting there. I'm going to connect it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Third year in a row, it's only one double-digit seed in the Sweet 16, and third year in a row that double-digit seed, Joe, is from where? A Power 5 conference. Shocking. It was Arkansas last year, NC State 2 years ago. So, guys, if you are looking, file this away for 2027 and beyond. If you are looking for that double-digit seed to make a run of the Sweet 16, look at the first four. Look at a Power 5 team that is a double-digit seed as opposed to the mid-majors. I think that is going to be the way of the future.
Shout out Mountain West, too, by the way, for once again being terrible. Yes, Mountain West. Shout out to them. Never winning anything.
At least they only had one. At least they only had At least they only had one this year, though, Joe. Because, how many times in the last 10 to 20 years we heard, this is the year for the Mountain West. What a deep league this is going to be. They're going to show up in the tournament. And they always fall. I was glad they only got one team in. They only deserved one team in
I agree.
This year.
Boys, let's do a quick look ahead. We got some fairly big favorites. Purdue -7. You got Arizona -8.5. Duke -6.5. Michigan -10.5. Anything jump out to you, Bryan Power, on any of those games or any other game you see early?
So Joe mentioned Alabama shooting last night. It was absolutely preposterous. One would imagine it is going to come back down to earth next game. They had a game last year, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, when they beat BYU. I think that they shot the lights out, and next game came back down to earth. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm just doing it off the top of my head as I think about it. But I like Michigan's path to the Final Four. Right now, you mentioned Iowa State being without Jefferson, Joe. They're a double-digit favorite against Alabama.
Yep.
And look, President Joe, I said before the tournament I liked Arizona. I thought there was a lot of value on them to win the national championship, but they might be laying too many here to Arkansas, a very good Arkansas team. So that's, I guess, my initial impression here of the Sweet 16 lines.
Look at some of these totals, Prez, too, as well. You see how these are some and I think maybe St. John's and Duke might be the lowest of them all when the game is said and done.
167.5 Arkansas, Arizona.
That's good. But look at these 135s with Iowa and Nebraska and under 140 points. And I still think Duke and St. John's is going to be the heavyweight fight of all heavyweight fights, where that one is going to be first one to 65 wins. And that's what that feels like there. So a lot of low totals, I think, coming in was the big initial look. I wonder how much lower some of these are going to go. I mean, Tennessee and Iowa State have both played at faster paces this year. Both have turnover. Tennessee's got a turnover problem. Is that number going to get too low, too, at 138 right now, 138.5? So some of these totals are a little bit interesting as well there, BP.
Yeah, something to bring up is a lot of times we see, not a lot, but a fair amount of times we see in the past, some of these regional semifinals take place in these big cavernous stadiums, Joe and Prez. That's not the case this year. It's correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, all of these Sweet 16 venues are NBA arena. Well, San Jose's an NHL arena, but you get the drift, right? We're looking at the Rockets arena, the San Jose Sharks arena, where the Capitals and Wizards play in D.C., and then obviously the United Center is where the Chicago Bulls play.
MGM Grand Arena too, huh? That's that's going to be the women's.
That's the Crown, Joe.
That's the Crown.
The Crown.
But I'm looking forward to it. We still got a couple of, we still got the NIT Prez as well and some other randomness happening. So, there's still a lot of college basketball to be played here coming up.
NIT tomorrow. Tulsa, Wichita State, St. Joseph's versus New Mexico. Let's keep the show moving, boys. I got a ski day ahead of me. Our parlay of the day. There's only one NHL game going, and I like the Ottawa Senators in regulation to get it done over the New York Rangers. No NHL rundown today. Only one game, and that's the play. Bri, what do you like?
Let's go over 231 and Raptors Jazz. I think the Raptors have a bounce back game offensively after scoring only 98 last night in a loss to Phoenix. Utah Jazz have the worst defensive rating in the league, guys. But what else does Utah have besides the worst defensive rating in the league? Well, they average 121 points per game at home, which is second most in the league. If Utah gets anywhere close to their season average of 121 points per game, this one's flying over because Utah's a double-digit dog. So give me the over there in Toronto and Utah. A little Canadian flavor for you there, Prez.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, that's good stuff. Why is Golden State a favorite over anybody is beyond me. Yeah. But they are tonight against Dallas in Dallas. And Dallas has been a little feisty. And I got no problem backing them as a home dog here tonight because Golden State, they're hoping Steph Curry comes back. For what reason? I have no idea why Steph Curry would come back, but he won't be back for this game. And it feels like maybe Dallas and company might have a shot at the outright upset. If Golden State wins, by the way, this is going to be a shocker. They're going to eliminate Dallas from playoff contention, which is amazing. It took this long for Dallas to actually be ruled out. That tells you how bad some of these teams really are, that only 11 games left in the season, and now Dallas is actually officially eliminated from the postseason.
I'm going out on a limb and saying Dallas eliminated themselves.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Predictive markets. Bitcoin is up 70,500 right now. We've had a surge of 2,600 in the last 24 hours. Where are we going here, Joe? What are our numbers? I say up and over 70,550.
41 cents to the over there. Any chance we get to over 70,800, Press?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some momentum today. I think we get over 71. But the official bet is 70,550.
That's it. 40 cents right now. You can hop on in with that one there, Prez. So not a bad way to look at it. And of course, now would be a good time to take a look at some of these future markets here, Prez. When it comes to, of course, college basketball, these are the updated numbers that were in the Sweet 16. So BP, Arizona's your favorite here at the top, trading at around 22 cents. Michigan, right around the same price. Duke, 18 cents. Houston, 11 cents. And then, you start getting into some of these interesting numbers with Illinois, Purdue, Iowa State, UConn, all single prices here. Obviously, chalk with Arizona and Michigan up at the top. But I don't know. There seems... And again, we don't need these teams to actually win it all. We just need them to get to the Final Four, to the final there, BP, and we're going to get a hell of a lot better price than what we're seeing here right now, no?
Yeah, you look at the top of the market there, Joe, going back to what I said earlier, I think when you compare just Arizona, Michigan, and Duke, I think Michigan's the best value of those three. You look at the respective paths forward to the Final Four. I mean, Michigan's a double-digit favorite over Arkansas, against Alabama. And then they get the winner of Tennessee, Iowa State. I think that's demonstrably easier than what is in front of Arizona and Duke. You mentioned Duke, the heavyweight fight with St. John's. Then they get the winner of UConn, Michigan State. Arizona's got a very tough Sweet 16 matchup against Arkansas. And then they would probably run into Purdue, Joe, in the Elite Eight. I think if you look beyond those top three teams, I think Purdue might be the best value of the bunch. Like Purdue against Texas in the Sweet to win.
7 cents. I mean, think about it, BP. If they win 2 more games, Yeah, that 7 cents is going to be looking a whole lot different in that spot there. So buy low and be first. That's kind of the best way to look at it there. So I'm kind of with you. Listen, Iowa State might very well be getting back Jefferson. He swears he's going to be ready to play coming up this next game. Iowa State is also an interesting look here. You get those kinds of single-digit prices, 6, 7 cents, and we only need them to win another game or two here, and you're making money, Prez. That's what makes the predictive markets so much fun. Is I don't need Iowa State to win any. I just need them to win another game, and we're going to make money there. Oh, mime time. We're back to miming.
Sorry, guys. My phone. I got so much going on here. I was going to point that out too, Joe. But out of the top grouping there, I like Duke. I think Duke has some value there, and look, any one of those favorites get through.
Yep.
And you're going to make money on every single one of them.
Exactly.
I mean, literally, you look at these double digits. You've got Michigan at minus 10.5. Well, if they get through, that you made money.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
and they're all the biggest favorites. Duke isn't that big a favorite, but Arizona and Michigan are certainly. But again, we just need them to win. Winning, you're in, right? What side of the bracket is Duke on there? BP, they're on the east side there, right? On their they're on the left side rather. Okay.
Joe, look at Purdue here at 7%.
Yeah,
they beat Texas, and that 7 is 20.
That's crazy. That's just absolutely crazy when you think about it. I don't know. I think there's some opportunities on this board here to invest and get the hell out.
It almost feels like if you take UConn and Michigan State, you're going to make money just on whoever wins that game.
Well, you've got UConn is on the same side as what? Duke and St. John's, right?
Yes.
So... I'm kind of with you on that side. I think that side is interesting, right? Because Duke is going to take on the Johnnies. Now, if Duke wins, Duke is likely, I think, UConn is going to be in the path. Right. And then you can bet both of those right now. And I'm kind of with you. I think both, if they both win, I think you can cash out on both Duke and UConn here before you even get to them playing one another on that side. Unless I'm missing another game in between, BP.
No, and a team that we have not brought up that's on this list and people may be staring at is Houston. Obviously, it's not on campus.
No, but it's in Houston.
It's in Houston. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. I know it's a tough matchup they have with Illinois here in the Sweet 16. But here's the thing. Houston, Illinois, all due respect to Nebraska and Iowa, I feel that Houston, Illinois is the true regional final there.
Yep, I agree.
Whoever wins will be a big favorite in the Elite Eight.
Yep, love it.
Guys, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel if you've never watched the show. Every Monday, the three of us, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have Art DeCesar joining us from the Westgate Superbook. Joe and Bry. Let's keep going. Brian, let's start with you. What do you have to promote?
We have one NBA play up. Great situation that one underdog is in on Monday's slate. I mentioned yesterday we capped a winning week in the NCAA tournament with a nice outright win on Iowa. I think, we want to take the points here tonight in the NBA, Prez and Joe, but maybe we don't need them. So WTF/BP, I'm on a 39-20 NBA run, by the way, 66%. So that's where you go. WTF/BP.
Beautiful. Well, Joe, go ahead, Joe.
No. Well done there, BP.
I got nothing business-wise for today. At one NBA play I'm passing in NHL. Joe Ranieri, what do you got going for the clients?
Locked and loaded, 4% NBA nice. Top play up and ready to roll here. I think I'm kind of in the same ballpark with BP because it is very much a barking dog situation here tonight, which I think the NBA tonight, Prez, could see our fair share of just that, a whole lot of barking dogs. So keep an eye on that one, guys. Available over at WagerTalk.com. And I'm already locked into 2 Sweet 16 plays that you can also get over at WagerTalk.com.
Bry, live on air. You want to handle the rest? No NHL rundown. You hang out with Joe, do the NBA rundown and MLB opening day, and I'll get the hell out of here.
Look at that.
Oh.
All right.
I never know what's going to happen on this show. Okay.
All right.
All right, Joe, you and me. I guess.
So
if I say no, how awkward is it?
All right, let's just get him the hell out of here, BP. So we are good to go. You and I will run down each of these games here in the NBA. I'll throw them at you, and you tell me whether or not you want to lay 4 touchdowns with some of these spreads, which are just absolutely absurd.
I'm laughing. Was that a choice, or was I being told to stay there?
Yeah, that's correct. You have no choice here at this point. So you just stay right there, BP, and we'll get it going there for you. So, all right, you ready, BP? Come on, here we go. Come on, let's go. NBA rundown. How about Atlanta and Memphis? Anyway, Memphis keeps this thing close. Feels like an over at 240, 241, though. Yeah, any which way you cut it. How about you?
Yeah, that's the way the market's moved. I don't want to lay 14 with Atlanta, though. This is an easy pass for me. I keep waiting for Atlanta to stub its toe. They lost that one game to Houston. I don't know. I mean, the Hawks are eventually going to cool off. It's the Hawks, for God's sake. Mark Zinno hates the Hawks.
I agree. The Lakers and Detroit, the only other game of interest here. No, Luka is not suspended after his 16th, technical there. But they're red hot. Are we stepping in front of a Lakers team here tonight? This also feels like maybe we get a bit of an under in this spot. Detroit got to show me they can beat a West Coast team before I start betting on them, especially without Cade. What do you think?
Yeah, no Cade Cunningham for the Pistons, but they are 10-2 ATS, Joe. As a dog this year, Zinno and I did make the case on the morning wager. It would be Pistons or pass. I'm not a believer in the Lakers. They're the 6th best team in the Western Conference.
Well, it could be a mirage, but anytime you got Luka, you got a shot. Indiana, Orlando. Orlando is terrible. Indiana's about to lose, 16 straight, I think they've lost, or this is going to be 16. Awful there, but can we really trust Orlando to win by double digits?
No, it's the same handicap as Atlanta, Memphis. No, thank you. You have to ask yourself, guys, these teams that are just rotting corpses, no, thank you. I don't want to bet Indiana.
No, they're awful there. Oklahoma City and Philadelphia, 16. I have no idea who's playing for Philadelphia, so any ideas? It won't be Embiid, and we won't see Maxey until the postseason. So what? I don't know. What do you do here?
Of all those teams scrambling between 5 and 10 in the East, Joe, Philadelphia is clearly the worst, in my opinion. This is, again, though, it's very similar to Memphis, Atlanta, Indiana, Orlando. I'm not going to take a corpse, but I don't want to lay this many points either.
Chicago's got a big rest advantage over Houston. I don't know if that matters. Houston laying 8. I do not trust Houston. Chicago in clear tank mode, but I still don't trust Houston to lay that kind of number here.
Houston, the fewest double-digit wins among the contenders in the West, Joe, and you mentioned the rest edge just to drive that point home for those who may not have, a matchup page open or don't know it. The Bulls have had 3 days off. The Rockets are playing their 3rd game in 4 nights.
There you go.
You can only take the dog there.
No. All right. Well, you talked Utah, Toronto. I talked Golden State, Dallas. Nobody really cares about Brooklyn or Portland. So that leaves us the Clippers taking on Milwaukee here. A lot of question marks on who's playing and who's not. Kawhi is still questionable. Mathurin is still out, but it looks like Collins is in. So for the most part, as long as Darius Garland is in for the Clippers here, I don't think they'll have a problem, but it does feel the market is heading to the under here. I'd be weary of an under with how fast the Clippers are playing now with this new look.
Yeah, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but look, guys, you don't have to play every game. It's the NBA on Monday. You've just been sitting on your couch watching NCAA for 4 straight days. Guys, this is just like all those other games. It's a double-digit favorite that you would assume is going to win. But who wants to lay this kind of number? I
agree. Nobody. By the way, just in, Jalen Suggs out tonight for Orlando. I don't know if that changes anything here, but I'm still not laying 12.5 for them in any way, shape, or form.
And I'm not playing the Pacers. Playing the Pacers.
And, Miami. We forgot Miami, San Antonio, by the way, tonight was the other big game. Norm Powell has just been upgraded, and so is Steven Castle. So it looks like both teams will have everybody available to him. Miami trying to stay out of that play-in game. And that total, highest on the board, 242.5. And that may not be high enough there, BP.
Miami, the highest scoring home team in the NBA. Earlier, I mentioned Utah's number 2. Miami is the only one ahead of them. They average 124 points per game at home, Joe.
Unbelievable there. All right, BP. So the Prez left us with, I don't know what the hell he left us with, but I understand they make a cream for that. We also have Major League Baseball opening day coming up here on Wednesday. Believe it or not, hope you have your Netflix account set and ready to go, because that's the only way you're going to be able to watch the game. But the Yankees are in San Francisco taking on the Giants. Fried against Webb, and you'd be hard-pressed getting me to do anything, especially early on, especially in that ballpark, then look at any. I'm on the under in the first 5. I don't give a rip. If you can get a 4, I don't trust the offenses of. I certainly don't trust the offense of the Giants, and I do think both pitchers will be pumped up on a Wednesday to get the season going. It's San Francisco to Bay Area at night. Marine layer under only for me there, BP. What were you thinking on this opening night of baseball?
Yeah, there's that old adage, pitchers are always ahead of the hitters this time of year. I'm looking, Joe, because you brought up the first 5 under, and I'm looking to see if we have a number on that yet.
Oh, that's a good. It was, I believe. Was it not like first half 5, if you can believe that?
Yeah. Oh, what, really?
No. 4, no. That's, and it's juiced all high hell. 4.5 is what we're looking at.
Sure, why not? I mean, look, the public's going to be all over the Yankees at this short price.
Yes,
obviously. I'm sure, but yeah, you take the first 5 under, Joe. Aaron Boone's poor decision-making then kind of out of the equation.
I agree.
I would assume Fried is going to go all 5. So, yeah, that's not a bad look.
I don't know what the bullpen of the Yankees is. I mean, we still got some question marks there, but we know that Devin Williams is now gone. So is Weaver is gone, which makes, Bednar there, I guess, the closer. And you got Cruz, you got Doval, the former Giant. And I want nothing to do with any of those guys. So I'll take my chances with the lefty Fried keeping it in the ballpark. And Logan Webb already pitched for Team USA. He's already been in competitive games and ready to go here. So I got no problem looking at the under in that one. It should be. And by the way, tell the folks what you got. Major League Baseball, what are you looking? You got any win totals? You got anything ready to go? When do you start diving into Major League Baseball, BP?
Yeah, I've been busy diving into it already, obviously. Of course, opening day, Wednesday night, and then a lot of teams get in action Thursday and Friday. Rob Manfred, right after Sweet 16. But anyway, Joe, you talk. I was hoping you were going to ask me about futures and whatnot. I like that price on the Tigers is still too short to win the Central.
I agree.
Who is winning the Central if it's not the Tigers? I mean, barring some sort of catastrophic injury in the Motor City. Similarly, Seattle's winning the AL West. And I think the New York Mets are going to win the NL East. Sleeper teams potentially in the American League, Tampa Bay over their win total, Kansas City over their win total, Texas over their win total. I think at least 2 of those 3 are hitting, Joe.
I got a very interesting one, too, and I'm glad you brought that up, EP. And let me see if I can find it quick, because you just reminded me of one which I thought was hysterical. In the prediction markets, they had one of the markets is who will have the longest losing streak this season. And all the prices were, you ready for this? For the Nats, for the Rockies, and for the White Sox. And every one of them was around 10 to 14 cents. As sure as I'm sitting here, it's going to be one of those 3 teams that is going to have the longest losing record. I'd be careful with Colorado, but boy, the Nats are not a good team this year at all. It feels like one of those 3 is going to have that longest losing. It's going to be hard for them to rack up a whole lot of consecutive wins. Feels like a lot more losses.
You know what? I don't think it'll be the White Sox. I think the White Sox have some light. I think they've got some life in them in the division. Let me tell you something. I said that I love the Tigers to win that division, and I kind of like the Royals over. Two teams that I think could be worse than anticipated, maybe a lot worse, are the Guardians and the Twins.
Oof.
The Twins are a team. They've got a tough ownership situation, Joe. You talk about a team that could go on a long losing streak. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota was a team that threw in the towel at the trade deadline and maybe just completely cratered. Remember what they did at the deadline last year? They just gave away everybody.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a bad baseball team in the Twin Cities.
Yes, I agree. And also, I think Milwaukee to miss the playoffs is not a bad look either because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Do we like Pittsburgh? Everybody in their mother likes Pittsburgh overs here. Is that too trendy for you now?
Way too. It's Pittsburgh, people. They've got they got the future shortstop of Major League Baseball, and they won't even play him because he hit $171. But yet, of the 7 hits, 4 they're still looking for the ball. The kid is an absolute stud. He's only 19, but at this point, what are you playing for, Pittsburgh? Bring the kid up, let him beat an opening day shortstop, sell some jerseys, and be on with it here. But it's way too trendy, BP, to your point right now. The love for Pitt. They make a couple of trades and signings, and now all of a sudden Pittsburgh's making a run. Run at what? What are they making a run at? Absolutely, they're going to win what? 1 game every 5 days? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, Paul Skeens doesn't pitch every day. I'll tell you, it's a fun ballpark to go to. They let you walk around the street and drink around it. That's always a good time. So I'll recommend going to PNC Park, but I cannot in good conscience recommend Pirates overs right now. I think it's just a little bit too trendy. Even though the National League is guy. So I don't know.
Very strange. Yeah, and I'm sure Zinno on the morning wager, I am sure he's figuring out ways to fade the Atlanta Braves. Am I close?
I mean, you and I may be called into the rotation sometime soon there. That is unbelievable. What is happening to the starting rotation? It's a San Francisco's 49ers situation. Start your conspiracy theories. Is there what is that, a transmitter or something? Start looking for that's insane how many injuries that rotation has. And it's March.
Yeah, and it's only March, and Acuna is getting hurt by the time we get to May 1st. So it's just par for the course. With they better burn some sage or something in Atlanta. But it's good to have baseball back, and I'm looking very forward to it there, BP. So you and Zinno, morning wager, folks can catch you, Monday through Friday, right, over on the WagerTalk YouTube channel?
And picks and parlays. No matter which one you go to, we are there. We're on both. Yes, every Monday through Friday, giving away 3 free plays. We've been doing it very well. I would be remiss if I didn't mention. I mean, Zinno had a hell of a first week in March Madness, man. I mean, he absolutely killed it. Those of you who bought the 2-for-1 package, he kind of carried me a little bit. I mentioned I went 6-5. He was like 10-2.
Nice.
So So check us out there. The Monday episode is up. We had a very long form discussion about the NCAA tournament on that, Joe. I brought up a lot of the same points I brought up here, but people can check that out.
Like that a lot there. All right, BP, get out of here. I think we're done. It is a pleasure. Looking forward to speaking baseball with you moving forward. And I'm so glad Prez was able to shortchange us once more and get out to the ski slopes.
Can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Did you know he was going to do that?
No, I had no idea any of this was going to happen. So
in the middle of the show, so look, I don't know. I'm not going to, you guys are maybe both. I mean, Prez is certainly very high totem pole here. Yes. I didn't know that was an option that you could just say peace out to the show you did. Apparently
it's so, but that's okay, BB, because we just gave the people way more information here in the last 10 minutes than anything that they experienced with the Prez on camera. So pleasure, BP, and I can't even believe I'm complimenting you, but it takes the Prez for me to figure out how to compliment you. It's amazing.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I know.
Is everything well? Okay.
I am. It's a little bit of a fever rolling here right now, but I think it's that Major League Baseball is almost here. So BP, enjoy it, brother. Talk to you during the week. We'll see you again next Monday. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come back and join us. Art to Caesar back in the chair again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Enjoy the games.